Good morning, everyone. It is Stephanie Lueras from Heart and Soul Fitness and Wellness, and we are here Monday morning, 9 a.m. It is Coffee and Connect with Stephanie Lueras. I don't know about you, but it is overcast and a little bit cooler here in Lake Havasu City. So after a few days of 90 degrees, we welcome that, although I'm a little bit partial to the 90-degree days. So as we dive in this Monday morning, we are going to be talking about the language of diet culture, how it affects us, and kind of a little bit of a rant, because this is just where I'm at today. So this topic came from a little bit of my experiences over the last couple weeks, combined with some things that I've been seeing that just get under my skin. And I'm probably going to say some things that are going to rattle a few cages, and that's okay, because it helps us to open our minds to think about our own behaviors around food, around movement, around our relationship with our own bodies. Now I have dog hair all over my sweater and it irritates me. But anyway, here we are. So I've been doing a lot of interviews lately, and one of the things that I don't get a lot of control over is how those interviews get marketed. Now, many of you that know me know my story, know my experiences, and know that I don't intentionally diet, but my body has changed significantly. And for those that don't know me, my body size has significantly changed. I am in a smaller body than I have been in recent years. And that is not through intentional dieting. I have 2 diagnosed eating disorders. I have PTSD, and through getting my shit together, I don't know if Facebook censors, so sorry, but through getting my life together and looking at my behaviors, looking at my relationship with food, really coming back to my, basically just learning intuitive eating. Let's be honest. Healing that relationship with food, understanding mindful eating, engaging in movement that I love. I've shared before that I, was the girl that faked sick in gym class. So the idea of running has always been that foreign concept to me. It wasn't until I was in my mid-30s that I'm like, hey, this is pretty darn cool. Because I was able to do it without bounds, without restriction. It was something that I was able to discover and love on my own. But these were also habits that I brought into my life on my terms, through my own healing. And there's a very big distinction that those changes happened of, I had no control over what my body did as a result of healing my relationship with food, of engaging in movement. Yes, there's an equal and opposite reaction to what happens, but whether or not my body size changed, that's not what I was going for. I didn't want to be unhappy anymore. And so, these interviews that I've been doing, these conversations I've been having, it gets turned around to look at this weight loss transformation. So in a $72 billion diet industry, yeah, I look super successful in that. But yet I didn't go on a diet. So there's a really big disconnect in that. And, you know, it's not an argument I'm going to get in at this point. My focus is serving people to find that joyful movement, to establish consistency in their habits, to help them heal their relationships with food within my scope of practice, and refer it as necessary. And, you know, we all have our place in that space. And, you know, this conversation around diets and restriction becomes so pervasive that, you know, we see things like, I'm so bad, I'm cheating. And I've talked about this idea of our self-talk before, and how this self-talk affects others. And it honestly comes down to choice. You're not cheating. You're making a choice. You are an adult. You are restricting yourself from something. And it might just be that you're restricting yourself from the pleasure of a conversation, from something. And when we look at that idea of, I'm cheating, I can't have that, I'm fill in the blank, we really need to look at that motive later. Am I going to feel guilty? Am I going to be beating myself up? Am I going to feel bad because I didn't get to do what I did? Like, we can pat ourselves on the back because we had the salad instead of the burger, but then are we going to feel deprived later? And that's not the conversation I want to have today. But there's an element of presence that we need to look at here when we're looking at this diet culture conversation. And, you know, what are you looking to achieve? You know, I talked about that it wasn't about altering body size, that it was about healing my relationship with food, that it was about moving my body, that it was about improving my mental health, that it was about changing my spiritual relationship. Those were the things that I wanted to change in my life. The alteration of my body size was the side effect. I never set out to actually lose weight. That was never the intent. And there's some collateral damage here that doesn't get discussed. And being in the present moment where I am today, there's still some big issues that have to be wrestled with, because you see the headline that, oh, transformation, oh, lost X amount of pounds. But does that solve anything? Have I healed my relationship with food? I've done a lot of work. Am I stronger, faster, fitter, feel excellent? Absolutely. Have I improved my mental and emotional health? A million times. Is my spiritual growth improved? Completely. Grows every day. That's an intentional practice. But there's still that continual evolution, because as that result of my body changing, being in a smaller body, at 40 years old, I'm in a smaller body now than I was in middle school. There's a very big emotional disconnect that goes with navigating being in a smaller body as a grown adult than I ever was as a prepubescent teenager. There's also this mind screw, can't say the words I want to say, but that goes with being at a number on the scale that you envision looking a different way. Because when you set out to lose weight, I think everybody gets that idea in their mind that if you reach X number on the scale, that you're going to look a certain way. And I don't think that people talk enough about the unrealistic expectation that is. Because if I ever imagined what I would look like at a particular weight, I would have never pictured what I look like now. Because there's collateral damage from decades of yo-yo dieting. I have hanging skin. And it's not something that any amount of strength training and toning will ever change. Like I have consulted with plastic surgeons. Like this is the reality of life. And I've thought about skin removal. I'll be completely honest. Like, you know, when I have skin on my arms that hangs lower than the circumference of my arms, because I have built the strength in my arms to the point where that damage hangs lower. You know, granted, financially, that's not feasible for me, but also I can't reconcile altering my body to have that skin removed at this point, because there's also that emotional point where am I willing to surgically alter my body to match an aesthetic? Because would my body actually look like what I think it would look like? Now, there's also physical bounds because of that hanging skin. Like I have skin on my legs that pulls at my knees. Like when I run, I have to wear compression leggings. That is an absolute, because it causes me physical pain. Like there's no way around that. And so, you know, there's so much damage that goes along with living in that future forward thinking of diet culture, that when I put in this amount of work, when I reach this point on the scale, that I'm going to look this way, that I'm going to feel this way, that this is going to be this great achievement. Because what does a number on the scale prove to you? And it doesn't even guarantee a particular health outcome. You can be a certain size, and it is no guarantee of your health, of feeling a particular way, of achieving any type of particular health benchmark. So we really need, that is why we need to take this obligatory indicator off the table and pursue habit change. get this whole idea of lifestyle change off the table, because that's just code word for diets. What is those habits that serve you, that really feed into your physical wellness, that relationship with food? And when I talk about your relationship with food, it is not just your nutrition, but it is how you emotionally and culturally relate with food. How do you move? Do you incorporate movement into life? What does your mental and emotional health look like? What does your spiritual life look like? There is so much that we pack into wellness and how we can change it. And the small things, what is the one thing that we can do today to start to change, to start to grow, to start to have that ripple effect in where we live our best life? And that sounds like such a catchphrase, but it's not. Because we can be happy, we can be thriving, we can be of our best service, of living our purpose on this planet in the best way possible by making such small changes without the craziness that these diets and all of this insidiousness brings. So I'm going to leave it there, because I can go on and on with this topic. But I got a little real and raw and transparent there today. So if you need to chat, if you have questions, you can always drop them in the comments. My DMs are open. My contact information is there. Please reach out. And again, I will be back every Monday, 9 a.m. Arizona time. Right now we're on Pacific. And you can even join me live here in the Zoom room. Go to bit.ly/Coffee with Stephanie and have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your Monday.